If you need less, you'll have more. If you do less, you'll have more. Is this confusing? What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel where I speak all about self sufficiency with the physical, financial, and spiritual health. If you need less, you'll have more. This has been a mantra that I have been focusing on for quite some time. And what I mean by that is that the less you need, the more you have and the more you feel about what you have. I personally believe that it's not about having more, it's about feeling more from what you do have. So if you're able to, for example, get all the money you need from 1 hour of work, that's kind of like the concept that I'm speaking about. I, for a long time, as an ambitious individual, put a lot of my happiness and sense of fulfillment, at least like in my mind, in a place of having more, having more. And what that did was put my happiness further into the future, and it did not allow me to feel any sense of accomplishment from what I did have. And I started to notice a lot of anxiety in my reality. And a mentor of mine pointed it out that it's because I didn't give gratitude for what I already had. And so everything that I did have, the building blocks of my future, the building blocks of my presence were going unseen. I think a lot of us can feel the pull towards needing more. I think a lot of us can, for example, feel the need to eat very lavishly or want to party a lot, have a lot of friends, have a lot of things. And the more that you feel you need, the even more, you'll just want more and more and more, and it'll never be enough. So I went on this journey of writing down this as my mantra: need less, have more, feel more. The less that I need, the more fulfilled and the more accomplished I felt with what I already had, the more satisfied I felt with who I already was, the more I had, the more I realized how happy and how joyous and how fulfilled I could be with what I already had. Because the more that I felt myself putting my happiness in other places, putting my happiness in the future, the less sensitive I felt to my reality. I wasn't feeling positive feelings over what I had. I would wake up and feel a little depressed about my reality because it wasn't what I wanted. It wasn't what I thought was the version of my reality that would make me happy. And what ended up happening was that my presence and my present moment was never enough. And so I think, again, we can very easily fall into that slippery slope where we get so caught up in the future that our present moment isn't enough. But when you start to realize how beautiful what you currently have is, when you start to realize how your current reality is a gift, when you start to realize that it is already so much, then you start needing less. I remember I was like, oh, my new hobby is doing nothing. Now, to go into a little bit of a story, so like my life for most of my life was like I was very ambitious. I tried to do a lot because I wanted a lot. I wanted more money. I wanted more things. I wanted more expensive lifestyle. And so I was doing a lot. And I didn't feel myself making any progress. I even got into a reality where I could sense people feeling my lack energy. I remember I went to a friend of mine. He was a lead at the time, and I couldn't understand why, but I could sense that there was something about my energy that was turning him off. And we had a very transparent conversation. And I asked him, I was like, does the energy that I have come off as survival? And he said, yes. And that was very fascinating for me. It was a really great moment to look into the mirror and realize that I thought that I needed so much. I put my happiness in things outside of me so often that people could smell it on me, and it came off as a survival attitude. I was just trying to get by. They could see it in my eyes, like a level of hunger that was not good. It was almost like I was an addict. I had addict eyes where I was never happy with what I currently had, with the fresh water and the vegetables and the fruits. I wanted these addictive, chemical releases that only really existed in my mind, and people could really start to sense it. And it wasn't until the universe kicked my butt and I found myself in a domestic violence case, which is still very relevant in my reality, and my whole world got flipped upside down. I had to take my girlfriend and my two cats and leave, my home that I had for about 20 years and find somewhere to live very, very quickly. I had to leave that house in 2 weeks. We ended up living in a hotel for about a week and a half. It was like the only hotel in Brooklyn that allowed cats. I didn't want to put us in a room, because that was the only thing we could afford at the time. And every single day was just like, it was overwhelming, but it was so eye-opening because I started to really realize how valuable just having 1 hour was like, Every day that we booked another night at that hotel, it was like, holy cow, like we have somewhere to sleep. We had money to buy food and to buy some meals. My cats, which are like my kids, they have somewhere comfortable where they can be cats, And it was really, really eye-opening. And the more and more that I was able to crawl myself out of that situation, the more I appreciated peace and quiet. The more I appreciated the ability to just take a nap. And the more I appreciated doing nothing, just sitting in silence and just not having any pressure. And so I fully manifested that mantra, not knowing what I was asking for, but being able to share with you in hindsight that the world and this economy can push us into a lifestyle that is never ending. And we are in this endless cycle, in like this endless hamster wheel where the more we survive on these bad habits, the more those habits eat us from the inside out. And it can be very parasitical. And we tend to surround ourselves with people that do the same, and then we pass it on to our children. And I also realized certain cycles, like my parents, right? My mom, my dad, and my stepdad, they were all children from villages in their countries. My parents from the Dominican Republic and my stepfather from Greece. They were children from villages, poor villages. They worked their asses off to get into cities. And from those cities, they figured out how to get to New York City. And in New York City, spent all of their, young lives to try to get their children into college, which by that time, their children now have become addicted to the same lifestyle and the same endless, unquenchable hunger. And me being that child, recognizing the cycle, I was lucky enough to see it. All I want is to go back to the village, have peace and quiet, have a farm, have my time, have simple needs. And so it's very enticing and very sexy, very exciting to be in the city and to spend money and to party and feel like we have a lot of friends. But to what end? What is the end goal? I personally believe, as a pillar of safety and abundance, I have to make the most out of what I have. And if the goal is to make more money, to then need to spend more money, to then need to make more money, it's just like an endless cycle. I'll never be happy. And then have children possibly to then pass on the same illness, the same addiction. It's not what I would recommend. I would recommend figuring out how to purge and release these habits, these unhealthy, never-ending needs, and to make the most out of what you truly have. Peace and quiet, the ability to talk to a friend, the ability to find the clarity to have a deep conversation with a friend. I believe having one friend that you can go deep with and have a deep conversation, and to be able to cry and laugh and, share dark shadows and not be judged or judge each other. Having one good relationship is better than having 100 shallow relationships. And having peace and quiet in one evening, is much more valuable than having plans, having dinner plans where you're just going to spend more money and then need to make more money that week, to then get so stressed out, to then need to get rid of the stress that weekend, and then spend so much more money that you then got to go make more that week. But again, those are my personal opinions. I really do believe that, like, if we had community members that thought the same, we could be a very strong community where our children could really focus on solutions that are truly abundant, figure out solutions to problems that many people can't figure out because they're looking at it from a place of never ending needs. When you come at a problem from a place of abundance, you get many different solutions. When you come and face a problem from a place of lack and fear and insecurity, then you end up causing more problems. And I feel like our generation already has enough problems. So that's kind of my mindset. I invite y'all to do the same. It's why me and my partner are trying to figure out how to live life on the road and go car camping in a few weeks, to even need even less, but to then have so much more, to be able to travel the country, to be able to go wherever we want, whenever we want, to be able to hide and sneak into the woods. That's the kind of stuff that, if we can find happiness in the woods, imagine the kind of value and the solutions we could bring to cities while we're in the city. That's what we're thinking about, and that's what we're trying to build. We're trying to grow our company. So I really do believe that it is very healthy and comes from a place of abundance. And I'm going to be documenting all of it. So if you're new to this channel, please subscribe. It's going to be happening very, very soon. I'll keep you guys up to date on that. If you guys have any questions or comments about today's video, would love to hear them. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, as it does help the channel. Share if you would like, But I really do hope you guys are enjoying this content. We are now, I believe, posting 18 days straight, which is awesome. So shout out to us, because this is a community. Everyone that's been commenting has really been helping me keep a clear vision on why these types of conversations are important and why this channel is important. And again, this is just a day-to-day journey towards us unlocking even more freedom in April when we'll go car camping, and to expand our mission to meet more people on the road that hopefully are of that same frequency, and to share this frequency on YouTube. So again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.